In Minnesota, 47% of veterans responded to a survey stating they had some type of mental health diagnosis, and of those that responded, 32% were diagnosed with PTSD. PTSD is defined by the American Psychiatric Association as a psychiatric disorder that can occur in people who have experienced or witnessed a traumatic event such as a natural disaster, a serious accident, a terrorist act, war or combat, rape, or other violent personal assault. Though the Department of Veteran Affairs, or the VA, offers certain services to veterans and their families, there isn't a comprehensive list of providers outside the VA system that veterans can see. My name is Sarah Kloster, and I would love to see a partnership between the Minnesota Department of Affairs and the STAR Behavioral Health Providers Program to support veterans suffering with a PTSD diagnosis. The SBHP for short can help the veterans find services like therapists or support groups through the compiled list of providers. The SBHP is designed around training providers in military psychology so they can better assist the veteran outside the VA system. And finally, the SBHP can increase access to care for veterans and connect or pair them with a provider in their area for the help they need. There are different services offered to veterans through the VA, and these include therapists, mental health providers, peer support groups, or informal services. There is no formal directory of these services for veterans and those suffering with PTSD. If a list was available, it would make finding the care for PTSD easier and less stressful for a veteran who is also already suffering. This list helps them find a provider formally trained and qualified in military psychology situations and to work with PTSD-associated military veterans. Training for the military is vigorous and specific. So why wouldn't the training for mental health providers who provide services for them also be tailored? If providers are trained properly, PTSD symptoms can be reduced. With these trainings also comes funding. Some states, like Indiana, who have already established using the SBHP, they find funding through other parts of the state government. The funding also helps encourage providers to enlist in this program, which in turn helps open access for veterans who need help coping with their PTSD. Community providers are becoming more likely to treat veterans, though only about 20% of them are actually trained in military culture. They are treating more veterans because of the long wait times and limited access at VA facilities. This limited access is happening everywhere you look. The use of telehealth is becoming more widely used, and this is the same for veterans. By using telehealth to reach veterans in rural areas of the state, it allows providers and patients to adhere to recommended treatment options and improve their PTSD outcomes. The SBHP would pair veterans and providers in their area to provide this necessary treatment. Unfortunately, PTSD cases among veterans are on the rise, and they usually have comorbidities such as anxiety and substance abuse or dependence. Through the SBHP program in Indiana, National Guard soldiers who received care from these providers were 9% more likely to return to duty compared to those who weren't treated by providers who had gone through this program. With any new program being introduced, there are some objections that may arise. First, accepting a non-military personnel into the workforce can be difficult. It's been shown that sometimes veterans end up having a disconnect, and that can lead to fragmented care for them, and that can be devastating for a PTSD case. Even though this is true, 20 to 30% of veterans use dual-use care anyway, but they aren't finding providers who have been trained to deal with military PTSD issues. Use of the SBHP can help that. The providers are trained and they are put on a list given to the veterans who need it. The second objection could be, are these providers truly trained to assist veterans and their families who are suffering from PTSD? It's an understandable question to have. The SBHP is considered a 3-tiered training program. So the program itself was created by the Center for Deployment Psychology, and it focuses on different aspects of military life so the providers have a firm foundation on how to care for veterans. Using the STAR Behavioral Health Providers Program in Minnesota would help veterans suffering from PTSD find providers, find the help they need, and potentially give them a better understanding of what they're going through, but outside the VA system. The SBHP has also decreased the number of days off associated with behavioral health symptoms, in turn making a veteran more likely to show up at work, at home, or just be present more. Thank you for your time and your willingness to hear a different option for veterans suffering with PTSD. This is never an easy topic to discuss, even though it's developed into a public health issue within our military system. But it can help veterans and their families navigate their mental health in a different venue. Thank you.